Good evening and welcome to the HometownNewsTV.com. I'm Lori Young.
And I'm John Young. On today's show, we're going to be covering a lot of the new things that are in this week's issue of the Hometown News and a couple of happenings that are happening around the area. But before we get started, we are not in our office tonight. Tonight's show is being done remotely because we've got a couple of things that have been going on today. So you're seeing kind of a hodgepodge mobile version of our show tonight. So it's going to be a little bit different, but we'll still get through most of the things and all the things that are in this week's Hometown News.
This week in the Hometown News, Harvey McKay, he talks about for best results, avoid temptation at work, looking at the longer outcomes instead of the quick, satisfying fulfillments. Tom Keene, the good old days, and he talks about Saturday night as a kid. Saturday night was the night to get ready for Sunday, where you had to do the bath and the haircuts and the shaving and the shining of your shoes, so you would be all in tip-top grooming shape for Sunday. Dave says the difference between a credit union and a bank, and in his other article talks about when you're starting up your own business, when it's safe to quit your day job and actually focus in on your side business that you wanted to get growing. And John, with his Small Town DIY, talks about characteristics of successful people, and you could read all of these great articles in this week's Hometown News. And now for the upcoming events. We have an auction coming up on Little Birch Lake on Sunday, October 29th. Dan and Diane Langley, and the auction will be beginning at 12 noon. Norma Jean Follett Halt, a fine vintage and antique indoor auction, is going to be held Monday, October 30th at 5:30 p.m. at the Melrose American Legion. The Gray Eagles Senior Center is going to be having their annual potluck and Halloween party on Wednesday, October 25th, starting at 5 o'clock. And the Guardian Angels Youth Group is sponsoring their annual haunted house on Saturday, October 28th from 8 until 10:30 p.m. Plus, mark your calendar because Saturday, October 28th, many of the local bars are going to be having their Halloween costume parties. So you want to be checking out the Hometown News for more details on those. And check out all of our advertisers in this week's Hometown News. And for this week's obituaries, we have Marvin P. Strowing, age 79 of Freeport, formerly of New Munich, passed away Saturday, October 14th. Services will be held at 11 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, October 20th, at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in New Munich. Catherine E. Kathy Koopminers, age 74 of Melrose, died Thursday, October 12th. Services were held Monday, October 16th at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Meyer Grove. Florence J. Petrowski, aged 93 of Swanville, passed away Sunday, October 15th. Services were held today, Thursday, October 19th, at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Swanville. Dwayne Johnson, aged 66 of Swanville, passed away Thursday, October 12th. Services were held yesterday, Wednesday, October 18th, at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Swanville. And you can read all the full obituaries in this week's Hometown News.
The Melrose girls swim team was escorted out of town today by the Melrose Police and Fire Departments as they're headed down to the True Team State Tournament that'll be going on this weekend. And we want to thank Paulette Crow for sending in this video clip for us.
I'd like to thank Ralph Hinnenkamp for submitting this week's Hometown News front page photo of the beautiful flowers that he had shared with us. And Terry Morganson had submitted a beautiful sunset photo over Mound Lake, which was our Minnesota Through the Lens in this week's Hometown News. The Swanville Lions Club donated $500 to Cushing Township for park maintenance through the proceeds of the club's pull tabs. The Swanville Lions Club donated $1,000 to Parker Township for cemetery maintenance through the proceeds of the club's pull tabs. Swanville athletes for the month are Avery Jackson for volleyball and Simon Bryce for football. Swanville's junior high student of the month is Alex Belfi, and the Swanville senior high student of the month is Lawrence Metler. Congratulations to both of you. Centricare Health nurses received March of Dimes Nurse of the Year awards. It is time for the annual enrollment for a lot of insurances, and if you are questioning what kind of coverage you have, Tom Keene is more than willing to go over your current coverage with you and to see if there's any options out there that can help you. And you can check that article out in this week's Hometown News. Here's a clip from St. John's Parish Fall Craft Fair, which was held at the Swanville School. They had a great turnout. Mark your calendar for next year. They hold this the first Saturday in October.
This is a great time as you're pulling in your dock and your boats or any of your water toys from the lake to check for invasive species. You might be looking for some weeds, you might be looking for some little critters who are growing on those items as you pull them out of the lake. So make sure you check those over very well before you put them away for storage. Well, that's about it for tonight's show. We're going to close with some of the beautiful fall color photos that were sent in to us this past week. Now, a few people sent some in, and we noticed that some of them weren't fully uploaded before they probably disconnected with their phone and such. So if you are uploading, make sure you have it go all the way until you see the little green "Yay, it made it" type thing at the bottom when you're uploading photos and such. But I know we have some that are up there from Bill and Amy, and there might be some other folks that sent some things in, and we apologize if they didn't make it down tonight's show. Next week we'll be in the office and we'll be able to go and make sure that all those photos are uploaded properly, hopefully. So thank you for watching once again. I'm John Young.
And I'm Lori Young.
From Hometown News TV. Good night.
Good night. Good evening and welcome to the HometownNewsTV.com. I'm Lori Young.
And I'm John Young. On today's show, we're going to be covering a lot of the new things that are in this week's issue of the Hometown News and a couple of happenings that are happening around the area. But before we get started, we are not in our office tonight. Tonight's show is being done remotely because we've got a couple of things that have been going on today. So you're seeing kind of a hodgepodge mobile version of our show tonight. So it's going to be a little bit different, but we'll still get through most of the things and all the things that are in this week's Hometown News.
This week in the Hometown News, Harvey McKay, he talks about for best results, avoid temptation at work, looking at the longer outcomes instead of the quick, satisfying fulfillments.